when it comes to memorizing the blood flow of the heart, it's easier if we think of it as two different sides. So we have right side heart, which is deoxygenated blood, and then we have left side heart, which is oxygenated blood. Each side of the heart has two different purposes or a mission of its own, yet one goal, and that goal is to keep you alive. The right side heart here. Now remember, the mission of the right side heart is to send that deoxygenated blood right to the lungs. So right side heart sends deoxygenated blood right to the lungs in order to become oxygenated. So once we get to the left side heart, the mission is pretty simple. It's going to take that oxygenated blood that just came from the lungs, and it's going to allow it to exit from the heart. And now that oxygenated blood can be transported throughout the rest of the body. So when you think of a valve, think of like these little miniature doors throughout the heart. And from the right atrium, the first valve that the blood is going to go through is the tricuspid valve. And the whole purpose of the valve is to open and close. We want the blood flowing through the heart to go in one direction. So when this valve is closing, it's preventing the blood from going back in the opposite direction. So from the right atrium through the tricuspid valve, and then we are going to enter into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, we're going to the next. So the blood is in the right ventricle and it has contracted. Once we get that contraction, that blood is going to go to the second valve, which is the pulmonary semilunar valve. And anytime you see pulmonary, just know that that's referring to the lungs. From the pulmonary semilunar valve, it's going to go to the pulmonary artery. So voila. So now we have what it is that we want, and we want oxygenated blood that we received in the lungs. After it leaves the lungs, it will travel into the pulmonary veins. From the pulmonary veins, it will then go to the left atrium. From the left atrium, it will then go into the bicuspid valve. From the bicuspid valve, it will go down into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, the now oxygenated blood will travel to our aortic valve. Once it passes through the aortic valve, it will enter into the aorta. And from the aorta, this is where our now oxygenated blood will travel to the rest of the body.